thank you for those of you who have joined for Doula Office Hours. Today we have Nikita from Appeals, Grievances, and Disputes to talk a little bit about the process and their overall kind of department overview. Let's see. Again, the purpose of doula office hours is just to provide our doulas with information that can make their job a little bit easier. We're committed to making this a partnership between CCHP and doulas. And with these office hours, we hope to ease their job and so that they can just focus on providing their services. And this is just one of many initiatives that we are rolling out to help improve this partnership. And like I mentioned, today we have Nikita with Appeals, Grievances, and Disputes, also known as AGD, to talk a little bit about her department and how a doula might go about appealing something or filing a grievance or disputing. So, Nikita, I will let you move forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nikita, I am the new manager of Appeals and Grievances Department. I've been there since September, so a little over 6 months. So, just to give you an overview of the department, we are responsible for receiving, investigating, and resolving member expressions of dissatisfaction related to services received, which will be a grievance, or adverse benefit determinations for prior authorizations, which we call an appeal. There are four categories of grievances. There's a grievance that's called exempt, and this is a grievance that's resolved by the end of the next business day. It's usually something simple like I need a new medical card, or I would like to change my PCP. That's something that can happen within 24 hours. If we go ahead and resolve that issue, we then label that grievance as an exempt grievance. We also have access to care, which is in which involve issues related to problems receiving care, whether it's routine or emergent care. And that's usually like excessive wait times, telephone access difficulties, or any issue a member believes negatively affects their receiving care timely. A quality of care issue is related to medical services, an actual visit where you feel like something happened that you did not get the care that you felt like you should have gotten. Like if you said to your doctor, I have headaches and I have stomach aches and my foot hurts, and they addressed everything but your foot, then someone would file a grievance saying, and we would label that as a quality of care grievance. And then a quality of service is anything where a person feels they didn't receive satisfactory services. Like I went into my doctor's office and I speak Spanish and they didn't have a Spanish translator for me. So they told me that I couldn't be seen. Or I went into the office and the receptionist was mean to me or was rude to me. That's when we would label a grievance a quality of service grievance. Both appeals and grievances can be classified as expedited or standard, and that just means there's a difference related to process time. If we could go to the next slide. Okay, and so here's our definition of an appeal and how you can submit it. So we take appeals orally or in writing. And it's usually about a service, again, that has been delayed, denied, modified, or not reimbursed. So if I went to a doctor's office and I had to pay $50 because they're saying my health plan doesn't cover it, well, then that person would file an appeal to be reimbursed for the $50 that they had to pay. Or if they, had a prior authorization for like an orthopedic appointment, but the service, the CPT code was different than the service that they felt like they needed. They can appeal the decision about a payment that did or did not happen for that particular service. Before I move on from that, is that clear or do you need further information? I just wanted to make sure that that definition made sense to everybody.
No, I think that's pretty clear.
Okay. And then a grievance. Grievances can be filed by a member, their representative. And generally, what happens, you will call into the member services department, who would then log the grievance for us, and then they send it to the appeals and grievances department. And depending on how that grievance is categorized, the processes are a little different. A grievance nurse is going to review it and determine if it's a quality of care or quality of service. And the difference is who would actually process it. So, a quality of care grievance, which generally concerns a medical issue, would be investigated by one of the RNs in the department. A quality of service can be investigated by either a nurse or a member services counselor or a member services coordinator, because we have both in our department. And then whether if it's a standard appeal or grievance, we have 30 days to process. If it's an expedited appeal or grievance, that has to be processed, investigated, and resolved with with information to the member within 72 hours. So the difference between expedited and standard, again, there's process time, but an expedited appeal is considered time sensitive and has to be reviewed by a physician within 72 hours. And the way that they determine if it should be expedited is if it could jeopardize the life and health or of the enrollee, or if they're in severe pain, or decrease the ability of the enrollee to regain maximum function. That is when we would label a grievance or an appeal as expedited, and that would go directly to a physician for review. They will then determine, should it be expedited or can we downgrade it, and 30 days would not cause any of these serious issues to our members. Once that determination is made, that's when we know how much time we have to investigate and resolve the appeal or grievance.
And is that all to share, Nikita, for
You
appeals,
know,
grievances, and
I thought that there was one more slide, but maybe not. That is all that I have that I can see. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer them, or I can take them down for you and get back to you with the response if I'm not sure.
all
Are
right,
there any
thank you.
questions?
Maybe a question someone might have as a doula provider if they were to file an appeal or grievance against, let's say, CCHP, if they wanted to get a status on that, is there someone that they would contact, or are they kind of given all that information once they've started the process as to who they can contact?
Sure. All that information is in what's called our acknowledgement letters, which we send out anytime we receive an appeal or grievance. Generally, what would happen is you would call into the member services line, and they can take a look at who is handling the complaint and either transfer to that person or send them a message to give the member a call back to answer any questions that they have. And I'm sorry, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I can send that if anybody needs it.
Yeah. And then is it then the same number if it's either a member or a provider that's filing the appeal, grievance, or dispute? Like if a provider has a complaint, is it the same then member services?
Yes, it's the same number.
Well, yeah, I can't think of any other questions. In case anybody has any question, you can drop it in the chat, or email me later on so that we can find the answer. But aside from that, I did just want to give an update for the doula providers. We recently updated our webpage to have a resource for doula providers where we have our doula provider manual, which is a comprehensive manual that just lists everything or mostly everything that a doula might need to know when it comes to working with CCHP. In addition to that, you can find our previously recorded doula office hours where we'll then upload this one on AGD, but we also have information on contracting and credentialing, billings and claims in case you weren't able to make it to those previous office hours. Those are uploaded there, and it's under health insurance for providers, and then you'll see the resources for doula providers. Um, but thank you so much, Nikita, for that presentation, and then everybody who joined in. But if there's no other questions, I will give everybody back some time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day,
Thank
everybody.
you, you too. Bye.